Hi everyone and welcome to another Hungry Heffy Crafts video. My name is Lesley Oman and today I have a project which is a collaboration between Heffy Doodle and my sweet Petunia. You guys have known, if you've been watching my videos, that I love my Misty and I'm so excited to be part of this hop. You can head on over to the Heffy Doodle blog to get more information and see lots of great projects. But let's get on with mine. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can use your Misty as a positioning tool. Now you know that it's the best tool out there for stamping, maybe a bit biased, but I also use it a lot for positioning. So I'm using it with my stencil today. I put a piece of card into the bottom right corner of my Misty and also laid a stencil in there as well. Now I'm going to be taking my project in and out as I do some pasting with embossing paste. So I'll put a little bit of washi tape on the top left corner of my stencil, and that way I will always know what way I have to place my stencil back into that bottom right corner. I've taken one of these fancy frames from the Heffy Doodle Clover Frames die set and ran that through my big shot machine, and I'll add a little tape to the back here so that it's nice and snug and it's not going to move around. Now I'll put my stencil back in place, add another little couple of strips of washi tape just so it doesn't move as I'm working with my project today. I've picked out 5 different distress ink colours and I'm going to go for a pastel kind of colour tone here today. I'm using some embossing paste. This is actually a translucent embossing paste. So what that means is if I use it on its own, it'll actually dry solid and glossy but clear. But you can change the colour of your embossing paste using ink like I've done here. I've smooshed my distress ink onto a craft mat and then using my palette knife I'm just working the colour through the paste until I have a nice even colour. Then I can take my paste over to my project and it's a bit like ice in a cake, I guess. I'll scrape off the excess using an old gift card so I have a nice smooth surface on top, and then I can peel away my stencil and give my stencil a wash while I wait for my embossing paste to dry. Make sure that you do give it a wipe down your stencil or run it under a tap. If you don't keep it clean, then you will reduce the life of your stencil. Now my pink section is dry. I can position my card and my stencil back in to my Misty in that bottom right corner and it fits perfectly. I can move onto my next colours. So instead of doing my second colour, I decided to do the third and fifth, and I'll do them together so it reduces the amount of time I spend cleaning my stencils. Nobody wants to clean more than they have to. And I will scrape away the excess as normal and then peel off my stencil and wait for that to dry. Now with this paste, it does take about an hour to dry, so I worked on something else while I was waiting for it to harden up. Now it's ready. I can slide my stencil back in once again, back into that corner, and you can see how all the little stars align perfectly with my stencil. 2 more colours now. I've got an orange colour between my pink and yellow, and then I'm also going to be using the cracked pistachio distress ink, which gives us a little bit of a green tone to my project. Now with these two I am overlapping the colours that are already there. It just gives a more seamless result, a seamless transition between all the colours, and gives it more cohesion as a final project. So let's peel off my stencil once again, give that a wash down and set this project aside to dry. Now let's move over to making the rest of my card. I'm using the Clover Frames and it has a lovely A2 stitched rectangle border. So I'm going to run these through my machine together, and instead of using this plain internal piece, I'm going to replace that with the one that I've already been working on with my embossing paste. But this way I get a nice stitched edge to my background. I'm also using the Heffy Doodle stitched strips of ease dye. That's really hard to say. And I've cut a piece of white cardstock using my stitched strips of ease. And I'm going to use one of the other dies in this set that says Good Luck. And I will position this up in kind of the center of between my two stitched lines, and add a little bit of washi tape on there to bring it through my machine. Now I actually want to go for the tone on tone look. You can of course cut this out in another color and add it on top, but I want to keep the white writing inside. So very carefully I peeled off the die, making sure none of the letters popped out, and I'll add a little bit of tape on the back to keep them all in their position. So now I have a little strip that says Good Luck. I'm using the Heffy Doodle Lucky Friends stamp set, and this is normally where I would reach for my Misty, but my embossing paste stars are drying in my Misty over by the window, so I'm just going to quickly grab an acrylic block to stamp this little guy on here, and then I'll quickly colour him in using some of my Copic markers. Now normally I would probably colour this little guy with some bright green tones, but I decided today that I would use some more pastel colours, a bit more teal and light colours, just so that it would coordinate better with the pastel tones in my background of my card. I'll cut him out using his coordinating die and add a little bit of glue to the front section of a folded note card. I'll add my frame onto there, and my star panel is now completely dry, and I can pop that right in the inside here, and it fits so perfect and snug. Now for this strip along the front, I wanted to add a little bit more colour. So using that same stitched strips of ease die, I've cut out a little strip of light purple craft foam, and I'll layer my Good Luck section right on top of here and stick this to the front of my card, trimming away the overhanging edges. I'm going to do exactly the same with my little leprechaun guy. I'll cut out some purple foam and stick this onto the back of him, but I want him to be positioned in the middle of the card, and I want his feet overhang the Good Luck panel. So I'll use a craft knife to cut away a little section of the foam under his feet, and then he'll sit here nice and snug right on top. So there we go. My card is finished, a beautiful Good Luck card. You can see it shimmering in the light there with the embossing paste, and the Misty tool made it an absolute easy peasy lemon squeezy kind of project, because you know it's perfect every single time. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you'll check out the rest of the hop. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here's some more videos that you may like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to make sure that you don't miss any of my other videos as soon as they're released. You can also leave me a like and a comment down here, and don't forget to follow me on social media @HungryHeffy. I'll see you there. Have a great day and happy crafting. Bye!